Hello everyone, how's your day going on? First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Mirsha, I'm from 6RG. Today, I would like to talk about bubonic plague, which known as Black Death. Let's go for it. What is bubonic plague? Bubonic plague is one of the three types of plague caused by the plague bacteria, which is Yersinia pestis. And the other types of plagues are septic plague and pneumonic plague. Septic plague, which happens when the infection goes all through the body. Pneumonic plague, which happens when lungs are infected. An infection spread mostly to humans by infected fleas that travel on rodents. Bubonic gets its name from swollen lymph nodes, which is buboes caused by the disease. The nodes in the armpit, groin, and the neck can become as large as egg, can ooze pus. What are the symptoms of bubonic plague? Bubonic plague symptoms include headaches, pains in the areas of abdomen, arms, and legs, sudden high fever and chills, and the last one is large and swollen lumps in the lymph nodes, which is pubis, that develop and leak pus. Symptoms of septic plague may include blackened tissue from gangrene, often involving the fingers or toes, or unusual bleeding. People with pneumonic plague may have additional trouble breathing and may cough up blood. Sometimes there are symptoms like nausea or vomiting. Okay, now, what did the bubonic plague do? Bubonic plague causes vomiting, shivering, and you may have fever. You won't be able to sleep, and the lymph nodes become tender and swollen. The pubis. After that, intolerance to light, and the illustration picture. Now the important part. Does the bubonic plague still exist? There have been other episodes of bubonic plague in the world history apart from the Black Death years from 1346 to 1353. Bubonic plague still occurs throughout the world and in the US, with cases in Africa, Asia, South America, and the western areas of North America. About 7 cases of plague happened in US every year on average. Half of the US cases involved people aged 12 to 45 years. How is bubonic plague treated? The bubonic plague can be treated and cured with antibiotics. If you are diagnosed with bubonic plague, you will be hospitalized and given antibiotics. In some cases, you may be put into an isolation unit. Now the critical part. What happens if bubonic plague isn't treated? Bubonic plague can be fatal if it's not treated. It can create infection throughout the body, which is septic plague, or infect on your lungs, like pneumonic plague. Without treatment, septic plague. Now the critical part. What happens if bubonic plague? Now the critical part. What happens if bubonic plague isn't treated? Bubonic plague can be fatal if it's not treated. It can create infection throughout the body, like septic plague, or infect your lungs, like pneumonic plague. Without treatment, septic plague and pneumonic plague are both fatal. Let's look at the real pictures of buboes and acrid gangrene. This may be a sensitive content. If you don't want to see it, just skip it. You can take the following steps to prevent bubonic plague. Make your home and yard inhospitable, and rodents, mice, rats, squirrels, and other wild animals. Don't leave place for them to hide or food. for them to eat. This means cleaning up cluttered brush and other items and being careful when feeding animals. Use flea control products for your pets, especially for those who are allowed to roam freely. Take sick pets to the veterinarian immediately. Don't let pets who roam freely sleep in your bed. Wear protective clothing, especially gloves, if you handle dead animals. Use insect repellent if you go into wooded location or other places that may expose you into fleas. Look for the repellents that use DEET or permethrin. To conclude, bubonic plague may seem like a part of the past, but it still exists today in the world. The best way to prevent getting plague is to avoid the fleas that live on rodents such as rats, mice, and squirrels. The fleas can also live in chipmunks and the rabbits. Take care to protect your pets and yourself from fleas and the possible infection that can carry. Make sure to contact your healthcare provider if you develop high fever, chills, and especially symptoms like swollen and painful limbs. News.
What is the outlook for someone with plague? If you had bubonic plague, had been treated for it, your outlook is very good. Symptoms usually develop 2 to 6 days after exposure. The best recovery happens if you are treated within 24 hours of developing symptoms. You'll probably feel better after 1 and 2 weeks. However, untreated bubonic plague can be fatal. Let's talk about the vaccine. Bubonic plague vaccine is only available to people who have high exposure to the plague because of their job.
And that's the end. Thank you for your cooperation.